Okay, we're going to take a look at another toy from 80 years ago, a Dinky toy, Fairey Battle Aeroplane. Here's the Meccano magazine from 1937, and well, you can see all sorts of things in the Meccano magazine. Fun for the kids to own. Hands up, nice little pistol, not even potato gun, it just took pictures of you apparently. For a laugh here, friends. And more cool stuff. They had these neat little frog airplanes at the time. They're little silvery planes. You could wind them up, special container. You'd wind them up, they'd fly. Looked incredibly good, unrealistic. And, oh yeah, okay, here we have Dinky toys. And over here we have the model we're going to take a look at, the Fairey Battle. It's this little one on the right here. So, those are planes that were current at the time. Singapore flying boat, Fairey Battle. And the Fairey Battle was a plane that came out, it was sort of a fighter bomber, and had a crew of 3, and a gunner, a pilot, and sort of a bomb aimer. It had a metal skin, monoplane, Merlin engine, what's not to like. But it only had 2 303 machine guns for defense. And just hang on a sec, here's the Ovaltine gang again. All the hottest pilots at the time, they were Ovaltine fans apparently. And here we have, well, there's a good ad for Brooklyn's Aerodrome. And another one, and what else do we have here? We have, oh yeah, the Fairey Battle, the rearmament question. So I guess even at the time, 36, people were concerned about what Britain was going to do, and the Fairey Battle was one of them. So it had 2 303 machine guns, one on the starboard wing, and a second, a manual Vickers K with drum magazine, operated by a rear-facing gunner. Can't really see it in either of these, but the gunner would be behind. And you can see the wheels retracted in, not completely, they hung out, and you see little landing light grooves there. So basically it had terrific promise, and 2200 were built, but it did turn out to be a bit of a dud, unfortunately. Here's another Flying magazine from 1936, I guess, and yeah, there's the Fairey Battle. And you can see a little bit better how it was conformed. You see a long cockpit, big plane. It was actually quite a big plane. Pilot at the front, bomb aimer underneath, and one sort of machine gun. So it was ideal for fighting off World War I fighters, but not so much for the Second World War. In fact, there was one operation, although actually they said on the 20th of September a battle shot down an Me-109 as regarded as Britain's first World War II aerial victory, 19 days into the war. So here's more stuff here. Here's another thing of the Fairey Battle. And you can see Merlin engine, but a big plane towed behind it. It's almost 2/3 as big as a B-17, oddly enough. And yeah, and they say in one battle, here's another one from the time, the Wonders of World Aviation, and there's a Fairey Battle doing a rollover. And I say in one operation, once the war started, they sent one operation, 63 battles participated in Operation Raid in Europe, and 28 returned, so less than half returned, so it definitely wasn't up to snuff. So there's the actual plane, and now we have the Dinky toy model. There's the model of the battle, and you can see they're pretty good representation. There it is. And if you roll it over the same way, yeah, you can see it. And the battle toys came in little boxes like this. Actually, there seem to be a variety of 3 types of boxes that I'm aware of. You can see the different endings. Here's the 3rd type, medium bomber, all 3 different types. But they were presented like this to the kids. This is the way they'd appear in the store. There you go. Oops. And they're presented as a pair. And there are variants on this basic theme too. where there'd be a mirror image. One would have a rondel here, one would have a rondel there, so they were regarded as different. So what we've got now is those types, and then we have these types, which are silver variant. And what we see here, the silver variant, see if we can get it. One of them, if I can get the focus, come on, there we go. One says Fairey Battle Bomber, and one doesn't. They both say England, way deep inside there, and they have wheels on them. You can see the slight bluing to the cockpit and the rondels. And let's see, under these we have same idea. One of them, whoops, says Fairey Battle Bomber, and one doesn't. You can also see an early propeller pin here. The early ones were just pins. And the other ones got sort of fancy with a bit of a shiny rondel. And there are 15 variants altogether, believe it or not. And here's one of the dark camouflage. Let me show it over here to advantage. And it is different. It's got no prop. It's pretty rough shape, but it has no wheels. And that's the first model. The wheels were sucked up into the plane for the sake of the model. And you can see the difference there. And it's interesting to note also, here's another one, the silver one, and it looks like the big variant, but it's not a variant. Just this poor little plane is struck by the metal tip fatigue problem, and it just expanded. It got bigger. Sometimes they expand so much they actually break apart. And metal fatigue, who knows what to do about that. Grin and bear it. So the covers that. Here's a little cigarette card of the time, and that covers Fairey Battle. There you go. You could focus, and the information on it. Everything a young lad would want to know. So now they came in these boxes, as we say, but there's a blank screen for you. But they also came in boxes like this. This was slightly disassembled at the time, but this is a RAF Aeroplanes number 61 set. And basically it's sort of a gift set where you get 2 Fairey Battles, 2 Gloucester Gladiators, and a Singapore. Very nice sort of set. And this is slightly disassembled from the box, because just to show what the young girls in the factory had to do, they had to string all these things in. And it's a heck of a, I guess they got pretty good at it, but it seems a bit puzzling to me how to do it, because they have to be strung in. So that's the way they would be delivered to the store. That again would be a bit of a gift set, suitable for a young lad's birthday perhaps. But they also came in boxes like this, and this is a Fairey Battle Bomber. It's a sort of a shop kit. And this particular box, you can see it was exported to the US. And it belonged to a fellow called Alan Dimmock at one point. And it's got 6 of the dark camouflage ones. And they've never been out of the box, never been played with. It's nice that they're all perfect condition. As far as we can tell, there are even some factory flaws. You can say, yeah, I think here, just a little piece of wood that got overpainted under the paint. But they're a beautiful model, and beautiful condition for that. And again, that's the way they'd be delivered to the store. Storekeepers would take them out of the box, sell them, throw away the box. And so I guess that's really the story of the Fairey Battle. Let's see if you got anything else to say about this. Oh yeah, we actually had a case here where you see, I've got another magazine which I don't have here, and by 1942, in a magazine that listed all the British war-type planes, there's all the planes they have, Lancasters, Spitfires, Hurricanes. There's absolutely no mention of the Fairey Battle. This is the magazine here, so it just was not mentioned at all, even though all the other types are mentioned. So it fell from grace pretty darn quickly. Those poor guys who were sent up in these inadequate planes. So Dinky Toy, let's see, made a lot of the toys. A lot of them were shipped to US to earn a little foreign exchange. And as I say, Dinky made 15 variants on this basic casting. You know, light camouflage, dark camouflage, name underneath, no name underneath, dark camouflage with wheels, dark camouflage without wheels, all those combinations, and they're all regarded as separate collectible items. Some are rarer than others. Another neat little thing to notice here is that you have little notches in the wings, if it'll focus. Those little notches are supposedly where the landing lights are, transparent. So, again, pretty good little model. Yeah, well, actually, the other interesting thing, if I can find one here, is that this is its size in relation to a Spitfire. So you can see it was a pretty big plane. Same sort of Merlin engine, but a great bunch of stuff to haul around. So it just was pretty darn vulnerable. So, actually, when you look at a B-17 model, it's amazingly big compared to a B-17. It could carry 1,000 pounds of bombs. That was it. And that's it. Those are the variants. 15 variants. Cool little plane. Pretty hard to find in good condition, but it's worth it, I suppose. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you soon.